Good morning, all. It's a new week. It's a new day. Good morning, everyone. We are live and alive on today, Monday, the 17th of March. It's almost spring. It's almost warm. Hope everyone had a nice, lovely weekend. We certainly did. And today, got a fun one. Yes, come on, just in time. Come on, just in time. Good God. Yes. How I'm going to do this part with two hands, I'm not entirely sure. Today, having a little catch up. Today, oh thank God it works. My computer does not like having two webcams plugged into it. It's working. Today, we are opening the mail. I've kind of been holding... I've oddly got quite a lot of cards to go through. The reasons for these we'll go into, and we're going to talk about them as we're going through. This isn't just going to be a look at me do my life admin. We're going to kind of talk about the cards that we have purchased and kind of the reasons behind them. So yeah, we'll get into that in a moment. Kind of the two main reasons for buying cards. The first one is fixing any... So at the start of April, in about 2 or 3 weeks now, morning Josh, how's it going? Is that we have Cube Clash London coming up, and I have submitted 2 of my cubes to Cube Clash London to potentially be played. So I'm just kind of sorting out some bits where, like, I'm kind of fine with like high quality proxies going into that because it's not a sanctioned event, but I'm not fine with like paper proxies. I kind of want my cubes to look their best. So I have been picking up bits to kind of cover gaps in my cubes where I've been testing cards and haven't picked them up yet. The second thing that we're going to be talking about today is, I've kind of done this once or twice, my Star Wars Unlimited deck I'm slowly putting together. Once I've opened the cards, I'll kind of roughly explain the idea of the deck. Actually, let's do this now. We're roughly... No? Okay. I'll roughly explain my Star Wars Unlimited deck, so when I open cards on it, it will kind of make sense. I'm going to use Magic terms for this, so it kind of makes sense for everyone watching. In Star Wars Unlimited, you have, effectively, every deck has a commander, and it has a color identity. So mine is, in theory, we don't have yellow in Magic, but it's green, black, and yellow. That's my color. That's the color identity of my commander. Let's turn this down a sec. Let me know if the audio needs updating. I had to replug some things in to get this all to work. Because, as I mentioned, it didn't like my webcam being able to do them. So the goal of this Emperor Palpatine deck is it has an ability where you can pay 1 and tap it because it's 1 and tap it to defeat a friendly unit, which means sacrifice. When you do, deal 1 damage to a unit and draw a card. So this is kind of a aristocrat style deck. So we're going to be building around. So it's kind of built around sacking your own stuff for value and also stealing your opponent's stuff and sacking it for value. So as we kind of go through some cards, we'll kind of show how this synergizes so it makes sense to everyone. I've enjoyed playing a bit of Star Wars Unlimited. All right, come on, you need to get down now. Sorry, love your face. You can be there. I've enjoyed playing a bit of Star Wars Unlimited. I'm kind of open to trying new card games, and that's one of them. So yeah, let's just crack into this. I think. So I have partially opened some of these just to check what they were, just so I could get the card market things done. But first up, we have a Cubby Wubby Scythecat Cub, 1 green. 2/2 creature cat with trample and landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, put a +1 counter on target creature you control. If it's the second time this ability has resolved this turn, double the number of +1 counters on that creature instead. So my cube has a +1/+1 counter sub-theme. Bristly Bill has been phenomenal in that deck. This is a second copy of Bristly Bill. The annoying part is Cubby Wubby here was only printed in Jumpstart Foundations, so it was kind of it's a bit of a ball ache to get hold of. This was about 20 quid. This is by far the most expensive card that we have purchased in this order. A lot of these are like 10p cards. Exactly, yeah. Power Crept, Bristly Bill. Yeah, Cubby Wub is awesome. Very strong card. Picked one up because, yeah, need it for Cube Clash. This is going to go in my main cube. The Unpowered Vintage Cube. Let's have a look what we have next. I was at least smart enough when I was prepping for this to black out my address. Don't want to dox myself. Aha! So here we have 2 cards for Star Wars Unlimited. Traitorous. When this upgrade becomes attached to a non-leader unit that costs 3 or less, take control of that unit. When this upgrade becomes unattached from a unit, that unit take control of it. So this is effectively an aura. This is a 5-mana mind control for a unit that costs 3 CMC or less. Effectively, again, there are Star Wars Unlimited terms for this, but I'm using Magic terms. So the idea is, with Traitorous, we put it on one of our opponent's best creatures. We take control of it. We can then use Emperor Palpatine as removal, and we get to draw a card. I think there's 2 of these in here, so it could be, like, this is 5 mana, so we still have to be conscious of our curve in Star Wars Unlimited. That's what that is. All right. So you want the ASMR on here. I'm just gonna. All right. This I think might be the bulk of the Star Wars Unlimited deck. One thing I like about it is that Star Wars Unlimited is quite a cheap game. So I have picked up this deck for about. There's a few, like, apart from like 2 cards that were like £3 each, everything else was like pennies. I mean, like less than 10p. So I think this is the less than 10p pile. So we'll go through it. A expansion just came out for Star Wars Unlimited, which is like the spaceship. Oh yeah, the spaceships. There's a magic card that with like a river going through the middle that makes you separate your cards into like 2 zones. Star Wars always has those 2 zones. It has space and ground, basically. Think like Empire Strikes Back. You have the space battle and you have the ground battle. And basically, people are always fighting. Or basically, those 2 can't interact. You can't have like a spaceship fight a person on the ground. But the goal of the whole thing is to attack your base. Your base has 30 life. So kind of like the board state is literally like this. You have your commander in the middle of the board state. You have your creatures on one side. You have your spaceships on the other side. So here's Greedo here. Let me see if I have a spaceship. These cards are backwards. But yeah, either way, so you kind of have like spaceships on the right. You have, oh, here we go, the Finalizer. Spaceships on the right, creatures on the left. I'll go over some of the cards that we have purchased and just opened. So the goal of this deck, as I mentioned, is like a sacrifice outlet deck. So we do have some cards with sacrifice triggers. Also in the game, you can only have 3 odds, you can't have 4 odds. But we have Greedo here. It is a 2 mana 3/1. When it dies, you may discard a card from your deck. Discard a card from your deck? That doesn't make sense. Oh. I'm assuming that means mill. If it's not a unit, deal 2 damage to a ground unit. So when this dies, this can ping something for 2. That's pretty good. Oh, in Star Wars, damage stays on creatures. You track it. It's Rushing River. Yes. Star Wars, you play with a permanent world enchantment of Rushing River. We have 3 reinforced walkers. This is just a big top end. Let me see if the actual... We have another Finalizer. So kind of the goal of this deck, I'm going to go through every card, but we have things like Reinforced Walker. This is when it attacks and when it ETBs, look at the top card of your deck. Either draw that card or discard it and heal 3 damage from your base. So you can either draw a card or mill it and heal 3 damage on your base. You gain 3 life, basically. What are the interesting cards in it? So this is very much the bulk of the deck. This is kind of like these cards are kind of the bread and butter of what I'm doing in this deck. So let me show you these. So Super Laser Technician is a 3 mana 2/1. So in Star Wars we know, this card is not good. But it has an ability of when it's defeated, you may put this unit into play as a resource and ready it. What this means is this is a 3-mana 2/1 that when it dies, it becomes a land. Star Wars does the thing of you get to play one land a turn, like by putting by putting a card from your hand face down, basically. But so this is ramp. This lets you ramp. So when this dies, which we can do with our commander, we can sack it, draw a card, get an extra land. Pretty good. And this is just 3 mana for a supply. So there's no instance. So this is 3 mana for a sorcery. Put this into play as a resource. Again, effectively, it's 3 mana. This is a rampant growth. 3 mana rampant growth. But it goes face down as a land at the back rather than you. There's no lands in the deck. The rest of it is very much the bread and butter card. So no bargain. Each opponent discards a card from their hand. You draw a card. Quite simple. This is our top end. So we're sort of a rampy deck with a cheat into play sub theme. When that comes up, I'll go over it. So we have a couple of those. We have a card like Battle Droid Legion, which has Exploit 2, which I don't remember what that does. While playing this card, defeat up to 2 units you control. This card costs 2 less reach and unit defeated this way, so you can sack your own board to make this card cost cheaper. And when this dies, you create 3 Battle Droid tokens. Those are generic 1/1s, and it's a 9 mana 6/5. I don't know how the vanilla curve is in Star Wars. Now this is very much kind of like this whole pile of stuff was like works out to like 7p a card, that kind of stuff. Not good to me. Dead plan 2 mana sorcery, exhaust a unit. This unit can't be ready this round, including during its regroup phase. So exhaust is the equivalent of like haste. So if you exhaust a unit, you tap it basically, so it can't do anything that turn. Yeah, we're going to go when we actually get to the cards that the deck is kind of built around a bit more. I'll go through them in a bit more detail, but we have another one to go through here. This one, all right. Which are you? Okay, magic cards. Don't worry. Again, so half the order was me starting my Magic Unlimited career. Half of it was picking up bits from my cube. So here's one to talk about first. Repurposing Bay. Let's get it out the sleeve so we can see it. Repurposing Bay. 2 and a blue. 2 and tap. Sacrifice another artifact. Search your library for an artifact card with mana value equal to 1 plus the sacrificed artifact's mana value. Put that card onto the battlefield, then shuffle. Activate only as a sorcery. So this is the artifact version of Birthing Pod. And this is going into my Treat Yourself cube. If you have not heard of Treat Yourself cube, it is the newer cube that I've built. On the Power for Nothing podcast, we did a review of it, or we kind of talked about it. That went live yesterday. Check it out. It's a good chat. Goes over a bunch of cool stuff that we've kind of put in the cube to make it interesting and fun. And one of the things is that our friend John, he won the last cube, and he just gets to add a card. If you win it, you add a card. He chose to add Repurposing Bay. He's treating himself. Very cool. What else do we have down here? So again, stuff like Dam. You can take these out the sleeves just they're not as shiny. Black. Sorcery, destroy target creature. Creature destroyed this way can't be regenerated. Or Overload for 2 white. This is one that was oddly a proxy in my cube. Oh no, sorry. My regular Dam is in the deck. This is one I'm adding to the Treat Yourself cube just because we do need some board wipes in there to kind of keep things in check. That's going there. These can come down here. We'll talk about these in a moment. One thing with my Treat Yourself cube is that it does do a lot of stuff with tokens. So Esika's Chariot is great with that. When it enters the battlefield, create 2 green cat creature tokens, and when it attacks, create a token that's a copy of target token you control. There is a token sub-theme going on around the whole of my Treat Yourself cube. So Esika's Chariot, very good in that. Did we get anything? Oh, so this is a nice little cool one. Let's talk about the easy ones first. So, Price of Fame is just a solid removal spell. 4 mana. This spell costs 2 less to cast if it targets a legendary creature. Destroy target creature and surveil 2. So the average CMC of the Treat Yourself cube is 4. The idea of that is that it just means games kind of kick off more, like later, you're doing bigger, more splashy, more powerful things. But with that, it means your interaction can't be super efficient. because yeah, we spoke about it on the podcast I don't know yesterday, but basically the gist is if the average cost of my deck is 4, then Swords to Plowshares and Path to Exile are just too efficient, so the removal kind of needs to be in the same ballpark. So Price of Fame is a great one for that. Then this is a nice little package that we've kind of added to kind of give the Golgari deck a bit, to give the Sultai deck a bit more of a personality. So we have Llanowar Mentor. So this is replacing one of our generic bits of ramp. It is a single green for a 1/1. Green and tap, discard a card, create a 1/1 green elf druid creature token that named Llanowar Elves. It has tap, add a green. So this is a very slow ramp spell. Very, very slow. But there are conspiracies in the cube, and this makes tokens named Llanowar Elves. So you can do some cool stuff with the conspiracies if you name Llanowar Elves. Llanowar Elves is also in the cube as well. So nice bit of synergy there. Llanowar Mentor and Necromancer's Stockpile are 2 discard outlets that I'm adding. Necromancer's Stockpile is 1 and a black for an enchantment. 1 and a black, discard a creature card, draw a card. If the discarded card was a zombie card, put a 2/2 black zombie creature token into the battlefield tapped. So I've kind of made the Sultai deck recent. So originally it was kind of just like generic graveyard schmoz. Put stuff in the graveyard and prop it in some way. And one of the things that we had an issue with was just it wasn't. People were able to mill their decks, but they weren't really being rewarded. My players were not treating themselves as much as I wanted to. So the idea with this is just a bit more fuel for the discard graveyard deck. But then we've added stuff like Sir Conrad the Grim. There was already like a Insidious Root style of move stuff around from deck to graveyard to library to all this kind of stuff. And this is just more ways of doing that. So we're adding Shambling Shell in specifically because it is a zombie, so it does some cool stuff with Necromancer's Stockpile, and obviously like the single black one that just lets you move stuff from your Torch Resistance, which is just move stuff from your graveyard to your hand and back again. But Shambling Shell has Dredge, and that with Necromancer's Stockpile seems pretty good. So effectively this is 2 and a black, discard this zombie, you replace the draw with a Dredge. So you're going to mill 3 cards, get this back to your hand, and make a 2/2 black zombie. That's a nice little loop. It's a little pricey, but imagine if you have an Insidious Roots or a Sir Conrad the Grim or some other dredges around. You're just going to be filling up your graveyard, getting some value. Maybe you make a Llanowar Elves as well. I think it's pretty cool. It's dirtly, but it's kind of what this cube is after. And then the other things from the order. This is generally what I do whenever I buy things from like Card Market. Just have a look at their promos. Get yourself a fancy version. None of these were super expensive. So we have a fancy store championship that I did not win or take part in. Monastery Swiss Beer. Looks cool. We have a Thought Vessel from a Bring a Friend tournament. But it looks cool. Very shiny. Got a big cube in there. And a Gifted Aetherborn. Cool card. Again, cool art. Store Championship. These were like... I'm fine adding like 10p to an order to add cards like this. You can kind of go in the maybe battle. But all good fun. Alright. Open this one. Need the cutter. Yeah, hope everyone had a good weekend. Weather here was mid. It was cold but dry. The dry part, I think, was the main thing. We'll take that. Hello, meow. Alright. Alright. Good. More magic cards. I think this is my... Yes, this one's from a store. And this one does the fun one for content purposes anyway. So, what do we have? So, this pile here. So, I'm a sucker for this when game stores do this. So this is the actual order. We'll go through this. Apparently I bought 2 Price of Fames. Love that. This is the bonus pack. So, some stores do this, and I'm a sucker for it. Like doing like £2.50 postage or £3.50 and you get 10 bonus rares. How are you not going to go for the 10 bonus rares? So let's do the 10 bonus rares before we even... This is the one I'm excited to buy. Let's do this before we even get to the order. Mr. Self-Replicator, cool card. Hostage Taker, strong card. It's the Lord of the Rings art there. The Huntsman's Redemption. Saga from original Eldraine. Rubble Belt Raiders. This is it's from a dual deck. I think it's from a dual deck. When it attacks, put some counter on it for each attacking creature you control. 4 mana, 3/3, very cool. We have Light of the Legion. 6 mana, Flying Mentor. When it dies, put a counter on each white creature you control. More of the Skyclaves is a really cool card. I'm assuming these are actually from the same Jumpstart pack, but hey ho. More of the Skyclaves, really cool card. I think this might still be in my cube. 1/1. Really cool card. Ooh, damn. I thought these cards were expensive, but Defiler of Instinct, the red Defiler. I think the Defilers are cool, and so cool, in fact, we got the black one as well. That's not bad. I think the Defilers, I thought these were worth something, but I guess not, because all this was it's £1 on top of your postage. Herd Migration. The Domain card. Yep, fair enough. Ooh, hold on. Is this Treat Yourself worthy? If we're going a bit slower. 6 and a green, Domain, create a 3/3 green beast, creature token for each basic land type among lands you control. Or 1 and a green, discard it, search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. If players are always going to be 3 or 4 colours in my Treat Yourself cube, is Herd Migration good? Maybe. And the last one is Cosmic Epiphany, draw cards equal to the number of instant sorcery cards in your graveyard. 6 mana, that's fine. We love that. You can go here. Alright, let's talk about the cards that we actually got for our cubes. So, we have Roaring Furnace / Steaming Sauna. So this is going into my Treat Yourself cube because we talk about it on the podcast, but just split cards are really good there because generally you want the CMC of the whole cube is more as I explained, but you still want things for people to do early on. So with this, Roaring Furnace is the red half. It's when you unlock this room, it deals damage equal to the number of cards in your hand to target creature an opponent controls. So it's a removal spell. It's not a great removal spell, but it is a removal spell. But then the blue side is 3 blue. You have no maximum hand size. At the beginning of your end step, draw a card. That is a nice little engine. Like you would put it in your deck for the red side, but if you get to 5+ mana and you haven't got anything to do at that point, or the game's going a bit long, you can just draw some extra cards. That's not that bad. That's pretty solid of a thing to do. Let's see what else we have in here. The Starfall Invocation is a board wipe that I'm adding. Again, I think we need 1 or 2. It's literally this and Damn are the board wipes I'm adding. I think we just need a bit more control in there. 5 mana board wipe. Gift a card. You may promise an opponent a gift as you cast a spell. If they do, they draw a card before its other effects. Destroy all creatures. If the gift was promised, return a creature card put into the graveyard this way from the battlefield under your control. So it's a board wipe that you can bring something back on. I'm kind of okay. So I think Damn is the only, or there might be a 6 mana board wipe, which is kind of also fine from a mana value point of view. But with this, it's going to hopefully leave something behind. So we don't want to draw out games with board wipes. We're fine with games ending, but Starfall Invocation is a good idea. But is this webcam moving? Is slightly, isn't it? Sorry about that. Come on, webcam. Sort your stuff out. Alright. Focus now. Focus, please. Marvellous. Yeah, so I just noticed that this is the gammiest setup. And I've just noticed that it's slowly falling over. So, everything will be fine. Alright. Rakdos the Muscle, I don't think it's actually going to go in, but it was just It is a free sack outlet, and we have aristocrats, and I want the curve to be a bit higher. So this could go in maybe as a more expensive sack outlet. Veto is going in to replace just the curve of this cube is way higher, but I kind of didn't do a good job at balancing the multicolored cards, like the gold cards. So this is replacing a 2 mana Blood Artist effect. Effectively, it is a 4 mana. It's a 4 mana 4/4. Whenever you sacrifice another permanent, you gain 2 life. If this is the first time this ability is resolved this turn, if it's the second time, each opponent loses 2 life. If it's the third time, create a 4/3 white and black vampire demon creature token with flying. So this is a cool way of ending games. It's also sort of a reward for the food deck, which it does go over Abzan, because you're sacrificing food in that deck. So it's also bonus life gain, and you could probably get this to sacking 3 food to create a 4/3 will push through some damage and win a game. Next we have Yes Meow. Yes Meow, we love you. I know, Meow. Next up we have Rootwire Amalgam and Combat Thresher. I'm adding these kind of, if I want 4, so they both do, Rootwire Amalgam is a 5 mana 5/5 with Prototype. Combat Thresher is a 7 mana 3/3, but it has Prototype. So these are both split cards. These are both cards that you can cast early in the game for their Prototype cost, or cast them later in the game for their actual mana cost. Combat Thresher is a 3/3 double striker. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. And Rootwire Amalgam is 5 mana 5/5, and you can pay 5 mana and sack it to create an XX colorless Golem artifact creature token where X is 3 times Rootwire powers Amalgam. It gains haste until end of turn, activate only as a sorcery. So these are coming in as split cards, so they're things you can do early in the game and things you can do late in the game. But also we have Flicker in Bant in the Treat Yourself cube. So you can play these for their Prototype cost, flicker them, and then they come back as the bigger version. So for Combat Thresher, you can pay 2 and a white, it comes in, it ETBs, it draws a card. You can then flicker it, it comes back in as a 3/3 double strike, and draws you another card. Nice value. The Rootwire Amalgam is a 2 mana 2/3, that if you flicker it, comes back in as a 5/5. The whole kind of point of this cube is like A plus B equals cool thing. And this is a thing that people can do. I think it's going to be fun. Just more split cards is cool. Garner Bloodfist of Kelt is another potential Rakdos card to kind of raise up the price of that deck. Price of Fame is apparently I bought 2 of these by accident. That's on me. Pack Rat is a very strong Magic card. This is one I was tempted by to add to Treat Yourself Cube. It's probably not going to go in the version for Cube Clash London, because I don't want it to just take over games. This is one that kind of me and my playgroup were talking about. 1 in the black, star. Pack Rat's power times is equal to the number of rats you control, and you can pay 2 in a black to discard a card, put a token onto the battlefield that's a copy of Pack Rat. So if you didn't play Pack Rat when it came out, it was a very all-encompassing card. It kind of like the game's just become about, if you play a Pack Rat, that's all you're doing for the rest of the game. I wanted a cool and interesting discard outlet, so we're going to do Necromancer's Stockpile first, but there's a world where later on, maybe we bring in Pack Rat. Right. The cat is attacking the male. That's not helpful, darling. It's lovely to see you, though. Alright. Big Game Hunter. This isn't actually for this is just I needed copies of this. But there is some cool stuff you can do with Big Game Hunter, a sack outlet, and torch resistance. Just keep flipping things around. Let's probably go there. Riftstone Portal. This is a very cool card that I didn't know existed until recently. I just didn't own one, so I wanted to pick one up. I don't think this is going to go in a cube. This might go in a Commander deck. Land adds 1 colorless mana to your mana pool. As long as Riftstone Portal is in your graveyard, lands you control have tap to add a white and a green. That's a really cool effect. This card is like 50p or something like that. I have a bunch of self-mill decks in Commander, and I never knew this card existed until a Fire Truck Modo video who showed me about it. Yeah, cool card. We love to see it. I need to try it in some decks. What else do we have? So we have Liege of the Tangle. This is just a potential big top end for green. 8 mana, 8/8 with Trample. When it deals damage to a player, you may choose any number of lands you control and put an Awakening counter on each of them. Each of those lands is an 8/8 green elemental creature for as long as it has an Awakening counter on it, they're still lands. So this is... So in Treat Yourself, this could be a green top end, where basically what you're doing is you're hitting them with this and then you're animating all your lands. I'm not sure if this one... Like, I'm open to putting more big green beef into the Treat Yourself cube, basically, and that's kind of what that's for. We have Golos, which seems like it should be in the multicolored big gaming cube. That's kind of what it's for in regular cube, so this is probably going to get in. And then we have a little multicolor action down here. So last time I won the Treat, so also in the Treat Yourself cube, we do a thing where you vote for best deck, and the person who gets the best deck gets to add a card. I won best deck last time, and the card I'm adding, I know I'm the cube designer, so in theory I could add any card, but I'm going to add something I wouldn't normally add because of the admin that comes with it. I'm adding, it's kind of like Boosted Tutor, but it's 4 red. It's an uncard. 4 red. you make Wooburg and a Colorless, and you open a pack of Magic cards. You may cast cards from that pack until end of turn. So that effectively lets you open a booster pack. With this, I'm going to make some custom packs. And one of them is going to be the 5-color pack. So Chromanticore and Garth One-Eye are cards that you could open when you cast that card in the Treat Yourself cube. I have some other ones in mind, but this is kind of like the base of one of them. Alright, we have 3 more. Alright. What do we have here? I guess we're back to the Star Wars. Here we have Colonel Yularen. I think he's from New Hope. 2 mana, 2/3. When you play a green unit, including this one, heal 1 damage on your base. This is just sack fodder. Okay, go. Right, here is the bulk of the deck. We have Overwhelming Barrage. It is a 5 mana sorcery. Give a friendly unit +2/+2 for this phase. Then it deals damage equal to its power divided as you choose among any number of other units. So this is as close as you can get in this format in this game to a board wipe. It's 5 mana. You give your biggest thing. So in my deck, it's going to be something like a big ship. Oh, we have Darth Vader as well. Woo! So say we give Darth Vader +2/+2, make it a 7/9. It can then wrath the board, basically. You can take out most of your opponent's board state. This is, an uncommon, but it's kind of like half board wipe, half overrun, basically. Very strong card. And then the other part of the deck that I got really excited by when I saw this card existed is a card called Sneak Attack. Not the same as Magic, but it does a similar thing. So it's a 2 mana sorcery. You can play a unit from your hand. It costs 3 generic less to cast and enters ready, so it has haste, basically. At the start of the regroup phase, which is the end step, you defeat it, so that means you sacrifice it. So this deck is built around cards with cool and good ETB, so like the Battle Droid Legion that comes in, does a thing, and it creates 3, and then it leaves Battle Droids behind. This is kind of a cheaty deck in that respect. Also, with our Emperor, we can also sack the thing that we cheated in for more value. It's all moving gameplay pieces around. It's all sacrificing stuff. I think it's pretty cool. I don't know how strong it is. In fact, I have no idea how strong it is. I have played literally 7s of games of Star Wars Unlimited. But I think it's fun. I can kind of get behind that. Right, we have another one here. I pre-opened a touch earlier. This one I think is Magic. Are you Magic or you Star Wars Unlimited? Oh, you're Star Wars Unlimited. All right, cool. So this is really the deck. Okay, perfect. This is the kind of the big thing that we're cheating in, for example. So we have our foil play sets. I will report back at a later date how the foils curl on these. But here we have Relentless. So this is a big flyer. This is a space ship, obviously. 9 mana, 8/8. The first event played by each opponent each round loses all abilities. So I'm going to be honest, this is not the best sneak attack target. They just printed a bunch of new ones that make a load of flyers, but this was like 20p. That's why it's in the deck. The new ones are like 2 or 3 quid, that kind of stuff, and I haven't got around to picking them up yet. But effectively, it's hitting your opponent with an 8/8. Sometimes you have to hit them with a Liege of the Tangle when you don't have access to the Griselbrands as of yet. What else do we have in here? We have... Bosk is a cool card. So Bosk has Ambush. Basically, that is a fight. It's a fight mechanic, so when it comes in, it fights stuff. So I could sneak attack this in and use it as a removal spell. The turn structure on Star Wars Unlimited is a little bit weird. It's effectively... someone goes first, and then I do a thing, you do a thing, I do a thing, you do a thing, I do a thing, you do a thing, until someone decides they're not going to do any more things on their turn, and then they can take the initiative, which basically means they guarantee they go first on the next round. So the fact that this can come in with haste and attack an enemy unit, because also in Star Wars Unlimited, you win by attacking your opponent's base, but creatures don't attack or block. You attack their creatures. So if the board state was like this, and they had this Admiral Motti over here, I can cast this. This comes in ready. This attacks this, and then this would die because it's only a 1/1, and this would have one damage marked on it. It makes sense. It's cool. I'm probably going to do a video at some point of Magic Player explains Star Wars Unlimited. Because like with most card games like that, you can definitely see where some people have got inspiration for the game before. Alright, we have 2 packages left, including one big one. Alright. Ooh! Okay. Sunken Ruins. So this has been a proxy in my cube, like a paper one, for quite a while. I keep forgetting to add it to my Chinese card orders. And this is in, if I'm honest, for for one person who's in the chat. Sunken Ruins is in my cube purely for the Doomsday deck. Sunken Ruins is a filter land, so it comes in, taps for a colorless, or you can pay blue and a black, and it taps to add either blue-blue, blue-black, or black-black. This is specifically in my cube for Doomsday. Because that deck wants to be casting Counterspell it wants to be casting both Thassa's Oracle and Doomsday. Doomsday is a triple black spell, Thassa's Oracle is a double blue spell. Sunken Ruins is a fine filter card for... Yes, exactly. Yes, Josh, yes, Firetruck, your Sunken Ruins has arrived. This is literally in for that deck. It is a fine filter card, but... Or it's a fine dual land for most cubes, but specifically if you're supporting Doomsday, Thassa's Oracle, I think you need to be running this as one of your dual lands, so your deck can make specifically these colours of mana. Yeah, so they can cast Doomsday and Thassa's Oracle, as well as like Bolas' Citadel. Just the mana requirements of that deck are already hard enough. Sunken Ruins is great for that. So I think we have one more, and this is a bigger one. I'm just checking the empty. All right, we have this. This one should be interesting. Get into this. Where's the bloody scene? Right. I'm assuming you can open boxes with a knife on YouTube. This video randomly gets demonetized because I'm opening a box. I'm going to be annoyed, but hey ho. Alright. So this one, you're going to have to go with me on a journey for a moment. I'm currently in the middle of prepping quite a longer video. I'm kind of liking the idea of doing longer form content, and we have a very long, very heavily edited video in the works. And during it, I've kind of gone down this rabbit hole. Yes, here we go. This is going to take some explaining. Basically, for this video, it required me picking up this copy of The Duelist. The Duelist, this is how we used to find out about Magic cards. I mean, I say we. I never bought an issue of The Duelist when it came out. This has some cool stuff. It comes with a poster. Ooh. But it has articles on other games, including things like Netrunner. And I think I saw in this an advert for another card game. And I thought, that looks... If I'm honest, that looks bollocks. Oh, look! Star Wars Unlimited. Different Star Wars game. I saw an advert for another card game and thought, that looks bollocks. I have to give it a go. And that card game is the Highlander trading card game. Pause for a dramatic effect. I mean... Oh, God. So, Canadian Highlander's quite fun. I would assume that, like, American Highlander must be pretty similar? Or is this Scottish Highlander? I'm not entirely sure. I might open one of these now. So, I kind of want to do gameplay on the channel for other card games. I'm enjoying, like, learning other card games and seeing what they can do. These are starter decks for the Highlander The Gathering. Oh, it's called The Gathering as well. That's really on the nose. Highlander, the card game The Gathering. This is the movie edition, I think. This expansion for Highlander, the card game movie edition, features all new immortals to do a battle in the final days of the immortal game. The time of the gathering is upon us. The stroke of the sword will release the power of the quickening. In the end, there can be only one. No other game captures the look and feel of the immortal struggle like the Highlander. Obviously, no other card game captures the struggle of the Highlander movies better than the Highlander card game. Interesting point. So my bad joke about Canadian Highlander. Magic card games called Highlander are called Highlander because of the film. There can be only one. That's where that all comes from. So I bought 3 starter decks. You might notice. I want to do gameplay on the channel where me and someone. It's going to be tricky for me to get the wife to do this one, but play the Highlander card game. The reason why there's 3 of these is because this is a card game from the 90s, and there is no guarantee that the starter deck gives you everything you need to play the game. So we're going to open one of these now. So I bought 3 just so you have enough gameplay pieces, hopefully, to make 2 decks. I've seen a bit of the mechanics of this. It's effectively a sword fight. So, there are just general game. So again, you also have a commander. Let's see if I think that's the rares, but it's just the actual. Ooh, look at that! Oh, a nice purpley brown back. Oh, thank God! Don't worry, everyone. It comes with a rule book. Jesus, look at the weft on that thing. Ooh. Right, well, we'll read that at a later date. Let's look at what we got. So, from what I know about the game, so there are starter decks that exist that don't have these. These are the actual gameplay mechanics. So this is like a swipe, upper center. Oh no, this is a block. So I don't know if you can see. There's a little grid here. Think of it like a 3x3 grid. Kind of like a Rubik's Cube. Effectively, if my opponent attacks me... So, let's find an attack spell. Yeah. So, if my opponent attacks me... Jesus, this looks gammy as hell. So, my opponent's attacking me lower center attack. If I don't block it with a block that covers the similar region, then I take damage. That's kind of how it works. There's also a weird thing in this game of kind of I would put all of my attacks for a turn on the stack, and then my opponent puts all their blocks on the turn in the stack. It's also, Angry Mob. I actually so part of it is I'm also I'm a fan of the Highlander movies. Only the first one is good. The other ones are kind of bollocks, but they're at least fun. Angry Mob. Each player must discard 3 cards. He's in league with Lucifer. Burn him! Burn him! That is Kate. That is Connor McLeod's girlfriend. Oh, actually, yes. One thing I did want to touch on. I haven't seen any rares yet. I think the rares are the people. So in theory, with this, you do need a commander to play. Like you would have a character from the movies be your commander. But I don't think we've opened one, which is nice. I'm hoping... Oh, no, hold on. Did we open John... Hold on. This seems... So the point of Highlander is sword fighting across time to cut people's heads off. We have just opened Pistol. That is incredibly funny to me that we have just opened Gun. Well, that must be our rare. How do you lose against Gun? That is incredibly funny. Yeah, I don't think we opened a rare, or we didn't open... So, this whole thing is kind of incredibly bollocks, but I'm kind of here for it. Oh, the police is an event. Love that. Yeah, this seems stupid and seems fun. If you've not seen Highlander, I'd highly... The first one is tremendously bollocks, and I would recommend it. the thing about it. So, if you've never seen Highlander, one of the things to be aware of is that the two main characters, you have Connor MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod. God, explaining Highlander was not something I was expecting to do at 8:50 a.m. on a Monday. But you have Connor MacLeod of Clan MacLeod, who he is a Highlander. He's an immortal. He's a Scottish lad who is killed in battle but comes back to life, and then lives forever, as the titular song by Queen, who did the soundtrack to the movie, proclaimed. So that is one character. Another character is it Ramirez or Ramirez del Pietro? It's Ramirez something. He's like a Spanish. I'm going to say dandy, like a Spanish lad who fell in love with like a Egyptian princess. He's like part Spanish, part Egyptian. They cast two people in these in the main in these main roles. They cast Christopher Lambert, who is a French actor, and they cast Sean Connery in these movies. Who do you think they both played? Who do you think is better at playing the Scottish immortal fighting through centuries, and who's better at playing the European character, or like the character who's been roaming across Europe for all of time? Obviously, Sean Connery with that lovely accent is playing Ramirez, the Spanish lad, and Christopher Lambert is playing Connor MacLeod, the Scotsman. This is the kind of bollocks that you need to accept is part of the Highlander lore, and yeah, I think it's funny. We're going to give it a go. I really hope John MacLeod. I think it's... So, there's like 5 Highlander movies, and one of them is good, 4 of them are bollocks, and there is a TV series as well that's also terrible. This is the bad guy, the Kurgan. Or this is an attack, but... So, effectively, your deck needs an amount of like attack cards and an amount of block cards, like, and pistol is obviously special attack. That is really stupid. A game about a sword fight has a gun. I truly love that. But like, I've seen people on YouTube like try and play this game by opening starter product, and you just sometimes don't end up with enough bits. You don't end up with enough attacks in them in order to actually play the game. Some of them... There is product that exists for the Highlander card game, and this is kind of like the... We've come such a long way in terms of like how well like games are made now. That like there was a product of Highlander that I've seen someone open on YouTube when I was just looking up like how do you play the game, and it doesn't come... It's a starter product that doesn't come with any of these cards in. This is like the lands or like creatures. Imagine opening a Magic starter product that didn't come with any lands. That is what can happen with the Highlander card game. And I don't think we got to rare because in theory the way you actually need to build it is like you need to have like a commander with their weapon. So like you could have like Connor MacLeod with his sword. That's kind of like how you would build this. But I don't think we got that. So I thought those were the rares, and I don't see any rares. We got some memories, and we got... Oh, look at this. Lovely. They've clearly taken a 16:9 still from the movie and squished it to B43. They have not cropped this. They have squished. I love that. This is exactly why we are here. Utter bollocks, but I'm entirely here for it. I hope we have enough cards to make this work. This wasn't expensive. I think each pack was like 6 or 7 quid. We have some attacks and blocks, so that is at least a way of building a deck. But hey ho. Hopefully that's something we can do on the channel coming soon. I would like to trick a friend into like, do you want to play some Highlander? That'll be funny. But yeah, gun is highlight of my day. If anyone's building like a, what do you call it, like a party box, please take a gun. Incredibly fun. All right, I think that's where we're going to end it for today. Feline, you want to come say goodbye? Meow. Come on. No. No. Oh, I think she's huffing at me because I didn't cuddle her earlier. I'm sorry. Oh, no, you haven't. Good girl. Good girl. Come say goodbye. Come on, come on, come on. Good girl. Marvelous to see you. Yes. Ooh, that's the booty. All right, that's going to do it for today. Thank you all very much for watching. Been a pleasure to be with you. I don't normally open this much stuff on like a Monday. I have been like, I've had like 3 or 4 projects that I've been working on that I kind of wanted to get bits for. Needed to get them open because, yeah, card market. Want to make sure people get their good reviews, all that kind of good stuff. But yeah, that's what we're going to leave it for today. Yeah, we'll do another one of these at some point in the future. I'll just kind of hold anything I buy and open it on stream because, you know, we're in that world where everything we do must be content. But hey ho. Either way, alright, it's goodbye from me. It's goodbye from this cat. You're not going to say goodbye? Meow. Well, they're only here for you, darling. Right, either way, it's goodbye from us. We'll catch you all tomorrow. Much love. Goodbye. Meow.